Welcome back to MythMode, where mythology meets gaming and where we break down the legends behind the worlds you love. Today, we're answering a question that a lot of people still misunderstand. Who or what is Ragnarok in God of War? Is it an event, a prophecy, a creature, a god, or something far more complex? The answer is deeper than most players realize, and it ties together giants, fate, prophecy, and Kratos' own journey. Let's dive in. What Ragnarok means in mythology. To understand it in God of War, we need to start with the real myth. In Norse mythology, Ragnarok is not a person. It's the end of the world, the final battle, the death of gods like Odin, Thor, Tyr, and Loki, the destruction of Asgard, and the rebirth of the world. Ragnarok is an inevitable chain of events, not a being. But God of War takes this idea and evolves it in a unique way. What Ragnarok is in the God of War universe? Here's the twist. In God of War, Ragnarok is both an event and a character. You heard that right. It's not just the apocalypse. There is an actual living entity tied to the event. This makes the God of War version much more personal and story-driven. Let's break down all the parts. Ragnarok as a prophecy. From the start of the 2018 game, we see the Jötnar carvings predicting the death of Baldur, Fimbulwinter, the realms freezing, the rise of fire and destruction, the war between realms, Kratos facing Thor, the fall of Odin. This is Ragnarok as fate. The events are laid out like steps in a cosmic script. But Santa Monica Studios shows us that even if the prophecy is written, .composite can be interpreted in different ways. Which leads to the next version of Ragnarok. Ragnarok as a person, Surtr plus Sinmara. Ragnarok becomes a being when Surtr, the fire giant, sacrifices himself. In God of War, Surtr merges his soul with the spark of his love, Sinmara. This fusion awakens a giant fire demon. That demon is Ragnarok. So in this universe, Ragnarok is Surtr transformed, a living embodiment of destruction. He's not just fire, not just chaos. He is the final weapon meant to burn Asgard to the ground. This interpretation is faithful to the myths, where Surtr leads the destruction of the gods with his flaming sword. But God of War adds deeper emotional layers. Surtr's role. Tragic hero. Surtr isn't a mindless monster. He isn't evil. He is ancient, noble, self-sacrificing, bound by destiny, carrying the weight of a prophecy he didn't choose. He destroys Asgard, not out of hate, but because he believes it is the natural order of things. His transformation into Ragnarok is his way of fulfilling that duty. This makes Ragnarok in God of War a tragic figure, a hero, and a weapon, all at once. Ragnarok as a force of nature. Another layer. Ragnarok is beyond just Surtr. The event itself becomes a cosmic storm shaped by fire, chaos, realm collisions, ancient magic, the breaking of the world tree's balance. When Surtr becomes Ragnarok, he unlocks this force. But he's not the only thing happening. Ragnarok is the collapsing of fate, the rewriting of history, the eruption of all suppressed tensions, the final breaking point between the Aesir and the rest of the realms. It's a natural disaster wearing the body of a giant. Ragnarok as a symbol. On a deeper narrative level, Ragnarok symbolizes change. For Kratos, it's the destruction of old cycles, violence, tyranny, gods ruling mortals. For Atreus, it's the start of a new era, discovering the giants, finding purpose. For the realms, it's the end of Odin's reign and the beginning of rebuilding. Ragnarok is not just fire, it's rebirth. Just like in the myths, why God of War made Ragnarok a character. Some people wondered, why didn't Santa Monica just make Ragnarok an event? Why turn it into a giant physical being? There are 3 reasons. Reason 1, myth accuracy. In mythology, Surtr does ignite the end of the world. He is essentially the spark that becomes Ragnarok. Reason 2, visual storytelling. God of War has always used giant enemies to show scale. Kronos, Jörmungandr, the Titans, dragons, Valkyries. Ragnarok needed to feel enormous, ancient, unstoppable. A living fire titan delivers that perfectly. Reason 3, emotional depth. By making Surtr a sympathetic character, Ragnarok becomes personal. It ties into themes of sacrifice. It reflects Kratos' journey as someone shaped by destiny. It becomes a story, not just destruction. What makes God of War's Ragnarok unique? The God of War version stands out for several reasons. 1. It's a fusion of prophecy and person, a living being created to fulfill an ancient prediction. 2. It's tied to love. Surtr and Sinmara's bond literally fuels the creation of Ragnarok, a tragic twist. 3. It's controllable to a degree. Kratos guides Ragnarok toward Asgard, influencing the event's outcome. 4. It's a weapon against Odin, forged not by hate, but by destiny and duty. 5. It's tied to Jötnar magic. Only giants truly understand or command it. The final answer? Who is Ragnarok in God of War? Let's summarize for your viewers clearly. Ragnarok in God of War is 3 things at once. 1. A prophecy, the foretold destruction of Asgard. 2. A force of nature, the cosmic collapse of the realms. 3. A character, Surtr transformed into a living apocalypse. God of War blends all 3 into one powerful, emotional, mythology-driven moment. Thanks for watching today's deep dive on MythMode. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Ragnarok's true identity, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your questions or theories in the comments. I read them all. Until next time, stay mythic.